You are listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Podcast.
Hi, if you're struggling with your relationship or you just can't seem to find the right one, author Gerald Manuel has written an enlightening new book entitled How to Identify Your Spiritual Soulmate. You may order a copy today from Amazon.com or at BarnesandNoble.com. This book is sure to answer many of the questions you may have. Thank you and God bless you.
Hey, how you doing? My name is Gerald Manuel, author of the book called How to Identify Your Spiritual Soulmate, 16 Chapters on Relationship. I am kicking it with Jerry Royce Live Worldwide.
You are listening to PositivePower21.org with Jerry Royce.
What up? It's your boy Kano Kingston.
Hi, this is Angel Sessions.
Hey, this is Cotton. Hi, I'm Teresa Cowell.
Hi, Jerry. This is Ira Sandro Carter.
Hi, this is Phil Powers.
Hello, this is Teresa Bobby with Jerry Royce Live.
Hi, I'm Philip Byrne. I'm live on the Jerry Royce Show.
Hey, what it do? It's your boy Houston Saint.
Peace, this is Dahlia the poet, spoken word artist.
Hello, this is Mama Marquise with Jerry Royce Live.
All right, everyone. You got Robin Lynn, and I'm keeping it live right now on Jerry Royce Live.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's up? This is a award-winning podcast with the greatest podcast on earth. Thank you for stopping by. I'm your host, Jerry Royce Live Worldwide on Internet Radio, where you get your positive on. So when it's all positive, it's all power. That's positive power. This is a worldwide podcast for growth, wealth, and success. Thank you.
Think you know how drugs get in those little brown bottles? Think again. Set in the green hills of western New Jersey, inside the gilded halls of power of a U.S. pharmaceutical company where decisions are worth billions of dollars and human lives worth less. Nicholas Harding, a young executive at Marshall Pharmaceutical, finds his career, family, and life in jeopardy. The Farmhouse, a suspense thriller novel by Bill Powers, published by Donna Inc. Publications, available at Amazon.com or DonnaInc.org. Go to Bill's webpage at www.authorBillPowers.com.
Are you looking for the next great read? A book filled with love, passion, betrayal, and intrigue. The award-winning novel, Season of Change, by Tamika Patrice Kane, is sure to satisfy your literary sweet tooth. Check out this must-read book reviewers are calling uplifting and emotional, and exceptionally great read, deeply intense and thought-provoking. Order your copy today, available in paperback and ebook on Amazon.com or at www.tamikapatrice.com.
Are you an author looking for promotional services or a reader looking for a great read at low prices? In this competitive world of books, Pride and Royalty Promotions is dedicated to bringing authors and readers together to build a greater respect for literature through our various promotional services and online bookstore. So head over to WriteRoyaltyPromotions.com and check us out.
All right. Thank you, sponsors. Thank you, ladies, gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and welcome to PositivePower21.org. I am Jerry Royce Live, and you're listening to episode 336. That's right, 336 radio shows on PositivePower21.org with Jerry Royce Live. Tonight, we got Pastor Gerald Manuel. He wrote a book called How to Identify Your Spiritual Soulmate. And as soon as we get our word from our sponsor, Reese World Publishing, we will get him on. Hold tight, everybody.
Are you an avid reader of urban fiction, looking for drama, suspense, and more? Reese World Publishing is dedicated to bringing the world's best literature to our readers. Urban fiction, erotica, sci-fi, mainstream fiction, and children's literature are just some of the genres produced by our diversified family of authors. You can reach us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and at our website, www.reachworldpublishing.com.
Hey, this is director-producer Alan Wills, and I am on Positive Power 21 with Jerry Royce Live. And when I'm online, I listen to Jerry Royce Live at www.spreaker.com/positivepower21.org. Y'all heard?
That's right. You tell them, Alan Mills, you listen to Jerry Royce Live. And tonight we're going to be listening to Jerry Royce Live and Pastor Gerald Manuel. He's a lifelong resident of Chicago, Illinois. He received Jesus Christ as his personal Savior in the spring of 1987 while attending Alabama State University. He is the pastor and founder of Kingdom Way of Living Ministries, a ministry that believes in the total restoration of the being. Kingdom Way Living Ministries has a special anointing to work with people from all walks of life. It is also a ministry that works closely with people who are considered the unchurched. Kingdom's Way believes the unchurched are people who historically have no connection to church or its structure. They are wounded, hurt, rejected, and have many other spiritual ills. Pastor Manuel is passionate about reaching the disenfranchised and being of service to families, children, and youth. He is committed to sharing messages from the Holy Bible to help strengthen each being with an increased desire to honor the holy commandments. He guided and studied by the Holy Spirit to commune throughout the day with God, to always give thanks for Jesus and to the fellowship and love with others. Amen. All right. Pastor Manuel, what's going on, man? How you doing?
God bless you, Brother Jerry. God bless you. It's always an honor to be on your podcast, talking to you, as well as all your listeners.
Yeah, man. Worldwide, baby. Glad to have you, man. Yes, sir. We got to pick up where we left off right now. Again, man, you know I'm a busy guy. I didn't get a chance to flip some pages like I kept saying.
That's good. It's a good thing to be busy.
That's right. But we're gonna do this thing, man, because they was asking questions, man. You know, women, people got concerns, man, with relationships, man. And I thought it'd be a good idea to bring you back again. I know you probably learned a few things out there since the book. Now, what people saying? Oh, before we do that, man, give people a little bit more background about you so they know exactly who you are and you know why you decided to pen this book. Okay, all yours.
Well, my name is Gerald Manuel. I'm married to Sister Yolanda Manuel. I love the Lord. I gave my life to the Lord, which you read earlier, back in the spring of 1987 at Alabama State University. I had 3 beautiful kids, Candace, Kennedy, and little Gerald. I'm a pastor of a ministry called Kingdom Way of Living Ministry, a ministry that believes in the total restoration of the being. I deal with a lot of people that is called the unchurched people, the people who have no church significant about them. So God brings like the drunken people, the people on drugs, on the people, on the drunken people, the prostitute people, people. In other words, all the people that other people don't want to deal with. Then God bring them to me. I have a special anointing to deal with those kinds of people. But it takes patience. It takes real patience. These people come into church, they really trying to get themselves together. Then the next day they go back, they relapse. So God gave me a special form of anointing to be able to deal with certain kinds of people. It's kind of hectic, it's challenging, but God gave me the grace and anointing to be able to deal with those kind of people. I love people. About my book, I don't consider myself an author. I consider myself someone who is obedient to the Lord. And the way the idea for me to write the book came to me, I was on KNTV in Chicago, and then I was talking about relationships, and some lady came to me and said, you know what, you need to come back on here and begin to talk about relationships again. So I reluctantly took the challenge because I don't consider myself no relationship guru. So I don't consider myself a person who have a whole lot of knowledge about relationship. But it's just something about the lady to convince me that come on back here and talk about relationship, because what you said, Pastor Manuel, was very so profound. People need to hear that. So I came back on the on KNTV, and it was a lot of people in the audience. And what happened was that what I said was very intriguing to them, that all of them came to me and said, you need to write a book. And I kept telling them that I'm not going to write a book. I'm not going to write a book. So I reluctantly said that, and this happened on a Friday. So that Sunday when I went to church and I was speaking to my people, and I was actually mocking myself, saying that they had the nerve to tell me to write a book. I don't have no good penmanship. I don't have nothing in me pertaining to, authorship and all that kind of stuff. So I was not trying to write no book because I never considered myself someone who said that one of the days I'm going to be an author. So I went home later on that Sunday, and 2 o'clock in the morning, someone tapped me on the shoulder. At that time, I was single, so I knew it wasn't no one but the Lord. And the voice said, write the book. So I went back to sleep. So 5 minutes later, right, the same hand tapped me on my shoulder, which is no one was in the room but me, and said, write the book. So I got out on my bed. I fell on my knees. I began to write because I knew that was the Lord speaking to me directly about writing the book. So I said, Lord, what should I say? And God said, call the name of the book, How to Identify Your Spiritual Soulmate. So I just began to start writing, and I wrote that book in 6 weeks. So that's how it came about.
And you gave some big numbers out there too, man, about the number of male and females, statistics of the married, I guess never been married, divorced people, widows and widows. The numbers are huge, man. 50-some million people, man, and 50-some million women. So I believe it's a total of it's almost right, a total of 59 million people worldwide. So which come out to about 60 cent. It is a 60 cent percent of people who get married then get a divorce. So the divorce rate is extremely 66%. And this includes people who have not been married, people who was married, and people who no longer want to be in a relationship. So, it's staggering. 59 million people. It's a great amount of the population. Wow. Who fault is that?
Yeah, 59 million people. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, something just not working right.
Yeah.
I believe the United States is compared with 300 million people. So you got to look at that. 300 million people and 60 million people, you could say, if you want to round it off, that is single. Yeah, that's a staggering amount.
Somebody going to hit the jackpot when they figure out what to do with those people. Now, Pastor, sometimes you can't, say, that they're not in the church, because they are. Because I'm starting to get figures. I'm hearing about pastors and first ladies getting divorces, So what's the deal with that, in your own words, your opinion?
Well, you see, we got to understand something, Jerry, that we're not perfect people. You know what I'm saying? People make mistakes. Like, people in the Bible make mistakes. So just because you're a first lady, just because you're a pastor, still does not mean that you hit it on the head when it comes down to relationships. Because a lot of people, which my book speaks about clearly in the 2nd chapter, say, how do you know if this person is one for me? So a lot of people look at the physical attraction about a person and not the spiritual part of the person. But people need to understand something, that God does not look at people the way man looks at people. God always looks at the heart of a person, while man looks at the physicality of a person. So I believe that pastor, first ladies, and whoever you want to call it, people always is starstruck. They always look at the physical part of the person. But my book speaks clearly that in all actuality, that the physical part is within 15% important. Out of 100%, 75% should be strictly with the spiritual part of a person, because man is spirit that has a soul that lives in the body. Okay? Now, the soulish part should make up only 15%, which is the soul part has to do with the person personality, the person character. Only 10% should matter when it comes down to the physical part. So that's why people get so caught up in it. Yes, 10%. The physical part only makes up 10%. That's it. That's the outer part. And that's what happens to relationships.
So there's no balance. So, a guy, he want to be attracted to his wife, at the same time that he can articulate with her. So where's the balance? No balance to the numbers, huh?
No, there's no balance, because we need to understand something is that you can have now don't get me wrong, Some people get the whole package, right? I mean, you'll never get the whole package because no one is perfect. But some people might get a pretty face, pretty personality, a person that is saved, but it's still something that is incomplete about the person. But some people, you ever heard the term that beauty is an eye of the beholder? Now, I have seen people that was not attractive at all to me. Then I didn't know other people like, man, that person is a 10. So you got to be able to understand. No, seriously, that's serious. So
I heard that too.
So
my cousin.
Yeah, it's serious.
She's hot.
And I didn't see right. Yeah, so that's how it is. I mean, the reason why it can never be a perfect balance is because the spirit person is the most important part. So you can never have the most important part and try to make it, as the insignificant part. Now, I'm not saying the physical part is not important, but is not as important because a lot of people get caught up. That's why a lot of people always end up messing up because the first thing they begin to identify is that person looks handsome. That person is cute, but they do not know anything about the person's spirit, or do they love the Lord or anything about the person's personality. So the physical attracts to get their person attention. And then when they caught up and captivated in the person, then it's too late. Now they have to deal with the spirit part and the soulless part with the personality.
That's true.
So all of that is important, right?
It is. I mean, it's funny because a couple of movies have revealed that, where the woman was kind of playing, just like that last movie's out, was it 50 Shades of Grey? The woman's kind of playing Jane, but it was something about her spirit. Something intrigued that guy. I guess maybe because I didn't see the movie. I think he just wanted to dominate her and see how far he can take her homie self. But, is what it is. But I know I've seen some movies where the woman was a plain Jane and this handsome guy is like intrigued with her and she's like, what you want with me? You can get any pretty girl you want. But then, that's not what he wants now. He wants, her spirit, her heart. Yeah. So that's interesting, man. But, like you said, when people they see things they want. That's the first thing. They're going to see this woman, it's her walk. And we talked about that before, about the walk. How she carry herself, her smile. It could be anything that turns you on, really. It doesn't necessarily. I mean, just think you're in a room with a group of people, and it could be 4 guys and 10 females, and there may only be one female sitting there that's really going to capture his attention. Now, all of them may be attractive, but it's like one is like, oh, my gosh, I have to meet her. I got to have her. That's what's running through your mind, And
that's a normal process. There's nothing wrong with that. That's a normal. You wouldn't be a human being if beauty did not attract you. Something is wrong with you. So it's a normal process, but you have to have discipline too.
That's right. Now, Pastor, you wrote this book before you got married. You was a different kind of a guy. Now, is there anything in this book that if you had an opportunity to rewrite, you would rewrite it, or maybe add something or take something out?
Nope, it's nothing that I can try to say that I wish I never had in the book because the book was inspired by the Lord. Because like I told you that, I don't consider myself an author. And the way I was writing the book, as if the revelation was given to me as I was writing, I was writing like 2 chapters in one day. And anybody know how hard it is to write chapters pertaining to a book? It is very complicated. It's like the revelation knowledge was just coming to me as I was writing the book. And every chapter in the book is predicated and based on scriptures in the Bible. So, no, I wouldn't take nothing out of the book. Nothing. Everything came straight from the Lord that I can recall.
Amen. All right. All right, man. We're going to take a quick break, and we come back. Now, you guys know who we're talking to. That's right. Pastor Manuel, he knows what's going on. And he in chapter 1, verse 5, Jeremiah, he say, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. I ordained you a prophet to the nations. I love the way that reads. All right, hold tight, everybody. Here's a message from James Deshay. Speaking of, relationships, here's the romance man right here.
Are you looking for a great book of poetry that is romantic, heartfelt, and full of male emotion? Then get Thoughts, Love, and Reflections by James K. Deshay. That's Deshay. Go to www.jamesdeshay.com. You will enjoy Thoughts, Love, and Reflections.
All right. Thank you so much. That's a message from James DeShay. So if you need some help, guys, trying to keep the one you love because you bored her to death, you better get that book, that poetry book. Now, Pastor, and people change over the years. You know, I'm hitting 23 years. That's, you know, you saw me in Ocean City in those pictures. We were celebrating, man. It's not the 25 years, but you know, I'm getting close. She's still keeping me, man. She's keeping me. Well, at least this for the 23rd, going to the 24th, she's keeping me. What's your advice for people who has that longevity? You know, the longevity.
No. Are you speaking from a spiritual perspective, or just a person just have been with someone just in general?
Yeah, let's just say general. Let's just say general, right? This is for the first part of the question. Let's say general.
Okay. So, are you to what is my advice I need to give to people for the longevity of a relationship?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's rephrase it a little bit. Okay, for some of the people you're meeting in the church that's coming to you, for some counseling or some words of advice that's been in the marriage for a long time. What are some of the things you're hearing from them that needs to be fixed? If we can say that, be fixed.
See, first of all, I'll try to explain to people that love must be the spiritual glue that keeps the relationship together. Love must be the foundation. Because, see, whenever you build your foundation, how you begin a relationship become your foundation. If you begin a relationship on money, then money becomes your foundation. If you begin a relationship on lust, then lust becomes your foundation. However you begin the relationship, that becomes your foundation. So love is the spiritual glue that holds the foundation together. And I always tell people that, when people come to me and they want my honest opinion, like in counseling about relationships and all that kind of stuff, the first thing I want to know is that, do that person have a relationship with the Lord? Mm-hmm. And that's what I try to explain to them. Do the person have a relationship with the Lord? Because this is what I have found out, Brother Jerry. When it comes down to people getting caught up in ungodly soul ties and ungodly relationship, I found this out. I done had ladies who've been married for 10 years and 15 years and 5 years, right? They come to me and say, my husband is not acting right. My husband is not loving me right. My husband is doing this. He's doing this right. I've been praying for him. I've been praying for him. But now this way it gets real tricky, Brother Jerry. Now, in the 10th chapter of my book, it speaks about the power of love in a relationship. So we need to understand something, that there are different kinds of love, okay? We have agape love, which is the unconditional kind of love. Then we have the filial love, like a filial storgos. It is a bloodship kind of love, as far as I love my mama because she is my mama. I love my brother because he's my brother. I love my sister. All the words is in the blood. That's based on why I love you. Then we have what you call a filial eros love, which is erratic, comes from the terms somewhat like a lust kind of love. I love the person because they have sex real good. I love the car. I love the house, okay? Okay, then we have what you call the friendship kind of love. I love my girlfriend because, hey, that's my girlfriend. But notice something. The filial storgos and the erratic kind, eros love, and the friendship kind of love, all of them is based on I love them because they are this. Now, keep in mind, the first love is agape love, which is John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave. That is unconditional love. Now, what kind of prove this? That is a supernatural kind of love. So if I am a Christian woman or a Christian man and I marry an unbeliever, they don't have the God kind of love in them. So only thing they can do is love me conditional. They can't love me unconditional. So while you run around here saying, I don't know why my husband don't love me the way he's supposed to love me and why he's not treating me right, because you asking him to do something or give you something he can't give you. Because it's impossible for him to love you unconditional, because in ordinary for your husband to love you unconditional, he has to have the unconditional love in him, which is John 3:16. And that love only comes from God when you give life to Jesus. That is the spiritual glue that holds the relationship together. So that's why. That's the main focus point when I begin to counsel people. How is the relationship between the two of y'all when it comes down to the Lord? Because if you marry that unbeliever, right, you have to take everything that has to come with them. So you can't expect them to give you something that they can't give you. So that would be my main advice.
So what are some of the women are saying when you mention unconditional love, and they say
then they get the picture. They're like, wow, they did not know that.
Yeah, that is a big wow.
It's wild because they're marrying people for money, because they look good, Because see, a lot of people think that they can marry a person and then they can change the person, but you marry who you marry. That's where the tricks comes in, that, Brother Jerry. A woman feel that the marriage is going to automatically change the person.
But let me ask you this. Well, how about those times when fathers, this was before women started going to college and, building their own careers, and fathers was like saying, especially the family itself, they're looking at families they're doing well. They're doing well in life. Therefore, they feel like the son, he's going to take after the father and do well. So then they're hooking the two together, because they say, my daughter's going to be taken care of because he can provide for her. Remember those days?
Oh, yes. Yeah, you're talking about the days when basically the father picked the bride, the groom, right? When the family get together and say, we want our daughter to marry that kind of person and that person, that person. Yes,
right.
As a matter of fact, that's culture.
And she's going to hang in there because, she's going to provide right back by taking care of his home, his children, take care of him. And then the relationship goes, probably goes as far as it can until she decides she wants her own career, her own money. But, you see a lot of this, among the rich. These girls are going to school with these guys, and they say, I want to be taken care of. I want to be a home body. I want to take care of the kids and not work. And I know this guy can provide that, and I will learn to love him. You hear that? You used to hear that a lot, but they will learn to love him,
See, this is what we have to understand, Brother Jerry, and this is what we need to understand this, is that I'm speaking from a spiritual perspective, because it's a whole lot of people who don't have a relationship with the Lord, and they marry people. And you know what? They can have a good relationship. So I'm not saying that a person who is not a Christian cannot marry and have a good relationship, because you have some ungodly people, right, living better than godly people in the relationship. I'm not saying that.
True. Right.
So it happens. But the point is that Right. It happens all the time. But I'm speaking from a spiritual perspective as far as doing it God's way and having God's best and being in God's will. Because you can have a good person, but just because a person is good to you does not mean they're good for you. So we need to keep that in mind. And number two is that it's a difference between having a person and having the person. So the a person can be good to you, but the person is the one that God has predestined you to be with. So you have some people is making a relationship work, right? And you have some people are enjoying themselves. But are they fulfilling the calling that God has for them? That's the point.
And that's the question, the $1 million question. How you know?
Are you fulfilling the calling God has for you? Because nobody was put on this earth just to be put on this earth. God has a specific calling for everybody. So the question becomes, yes, I can live my life. I can have somebody. I can do the things I want to do because you have a free choice and a free will. But are you fulfilling the calling that God has for you? That's where that comes in at.
Yeah, I think I might have to read your book, man, because see, my wife, man, she just looks so good to me, man. It's like every day I just like looking at her, man, And then I like talking to her. I mean, and she's just so sweet, But I don't know if she's the soulmate or not, but
no.
I know I can't wait to get upstairs.
You ain't gonna put me in this. You ain't gonna put me in that. So there you go.
Yeah, because I got a buddy just like that, man. It's like, dude, you drive her everywhere. I said, man, I just like being around her, man. She's like glue. I'm stuck to her. That's what he told me. I was like, wow. And then they act like, they just get along so well. It's like, they be talking to us, but then they looking at each other. And then my wife did the same thing. I said, honey, aren't you talking to them? You looking at me. I think it's something magical have. I'm not sure if it's like a spiritual thing, but I know right now, like every night, I can't wait till the show is over so I can go see her, because I start the show, I don't get to see her.
That is excellent. I love to hear that, Brother Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why, you know what I'll be doing sometimes? Because I did an event last Saturday, plus, I did a couple events. And every time I do events, and when there's married couples that is there, right, and they want to ask me questions, I say, I don't like responding to married couples because the book is not directed for married couples, right? It's how to identify your spiritual soulmate. It's not for you because I don't want you to begin to start looking over to the side and say, man, did I make a mistake? It's not intended for married couples. The book is intended for people who are who are single and want God to bring them their spiritual soulmate. That's what it's for.
Yeah, but you kind of think that, even if you haven't read the book before you got married, you wonder if you made the right choice. There's always going to be the good and the bad. When it comes, like my wife, certain movies she don't like, so and she knows certain movies I don't like. So, but I used to go with her anyway. But now, she'll just go, and she know I like certain type of. But now I got the boys, I just drag them along. So it's not a whole lot that we don't enjoy. With each other when we go out and meet people and things like that. She's quiet, but she got her times when she want to talk, and then, that's when I got to show my patience, and hear her out, especially when it comes to work. But, that's what we're here for, to support each other, So, remember, my main thing is just remember, got to be supportive. And the same thing my mom, my mom would tell me something she told me 3 times, in that week. It's like, okay, I have to show patience. So with me, and I think a lot of guys, sometimes with the relationship, it could be just, your patience is just not as long as it used to be, and that might be something they might say. If someone asks you if you had to fix one thing in your relationship that you didn't see coming, before you ask, you say, I do, what would it be,
Interesting. See, and something else, Brother Jerry, that is so amazing. Now, I'm a man who wrote, I'm going to be a bestseller book about relationships, 16 chapter relationship, right? I'm the man who talks about relationships and all that kind of stuff. But believe it or not, me and my wife have issues. So does it mean that I did not have the right person? No, I don't believe that. I do believe that God designed me and my wife to be together. As a matter of fact, it is so funny. God told me that she wasn't going to be my wife back in 1988, back in Alabama State University. So it happened right. But now, we've only been married about 2 years. So that goes to show you, they have almost 20-some years before it came to pass. And trust me, we have challenges all the time in the relationship. So we can't determine that because you have challenges in the relationship. That is not the person who God has designed you to be with, because you are always going to have troubles and challenges.
So you said you only been married for 2 years?
Yep, just about 2 years. Yep.
Wow, 2 years.
Yeah, right. And look,
it's funny. It's funny you said that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was my worst critic because you know why? I had to follow my book. I'd have been a hypocrite.
I know.
Because there was the things about my wife before we was married I didn't like, but I knew God was leading me to her. But I couldn't be no hypocrite. So so it was more challenging for me because I'm like, well, my book said I should do this, but I want to do that. So,
but it's funny you mentioned that about the 22 years or 20 years ago when you knew who it was going to be. I remember I was standing on my parents' porch when they were living in Baltimore, and this is before they moved out, to the suburbs of Maryland. And I was standing on the porch just looking across the street because of my buddy. We always hang out, and I seen these 2 girls cross the street to go see him, and my brother's best friend was with them. And I was like, who's that? And I saw her. It was her. And I remember that when I met her, I said, I've seen you before. And it was funny because they was about a half a block away. But for some reason, I wasn't drawn to the other person. I knew who that person was, but I was like, wow, who's that? Who's going to see Mark? It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm telling you. Yeah, so that's what happened. So that's why, I can't fight this is my wife or not because God told me she was my wife. So that's what happened. Yes, that's what happened. Yeah.
I remember driving.
So I believe you got the right person, Jerry. I believe you got the right person.
Look, it's funny, man. I mean, I think of all kinds of crazy stuff. I just remember I thought I was so cool back in the day. I had my little Celica GTS, the windows down, roof open, playing some Phil Collins, in the air. It's like it's almost happy hour, but I'm like too tired to go out, so I'm heading home because we had cell phones back then, so you got to go home and check your messages, then go back out. So I'm riding home. And I'm thinking, I said, oh, man, I'm so tired. I really would like to take a long nap on this Friday. Just watch me some Miami Vice and call it a night, something like a good movie because we had cable. Man, something told me when you get home, you get back in that car and turn around, see what's up. Call your sister. And my sister, I think she left a message where she was going to be. I said, oh, man, I feel like going all the way over there. I mean, it really was about a 15-minute drive. I ended up going there. And I was by myself. I just said, it was like a restaurant that served really good food, and it had a bar. I guess you could say it was almost like a pub, if you want to call it a pub. So I was sitting at the bar and entertaining all these people, man. I ordered me some crab cakes and a beer and everything, and just chilling and talking to these people. And then somebody tapped me on the shoulder, and I said, "Hey, what's up?" I said, "Where's my sister at?" She said, "Oh, she's here. We're here." I said, "Get out of here." They was right behind me, on the lower level, and she said, "Come on down." So I came on down, and here was like, I think it was like 5 or 6 young ladies, and just having a good time. And she was among that group, and that was just something about her, man. I was like, wow, I know that look, that face, Interesting, dude.
You've been connected. You've been connected ever since then.
Yeah, man. But she didn't want to go out with me though, man. I was trying to get a phone number, and I was trying to get out her girlfriend, because I knew I was going to be on night shift and I was going to be able to communicate with her. I don't know why I was so pressing in the rush. I was trying to clean my house out, my stable, trying to find that one. That's where I was at that point in my life,
Right.
About to turn 29. You kind of, sometimes with men, we kind of earmark an age where we like to, be married and starting a family. At least for me, because my dad always said, "Yeah, I started my family when I was 22." And I'm always, I didn't want to get married at 22. It was too much fun going on at that time. But I don't know. So, I mean, were you that kind of individual, man? Did you earmark, your age and say, "Hey, I want to be married at this time, this age, starting a family"?
Well, not really. I believe it just came on me. It wasn't no specific. I believe it was more so of the person who can draw me to them more than a specific time or year when I want to be married. But I knew I wanted to be married because that my desire for woman was too strong, and I didn't want to dangle to hell as no fornicator. So I knew I had to have somebody because I don't have the gift of being by myself. I don't have that gift. I'm not strong at all.
Yeah.
If I had that,
trust. And trust was always big with me. It was getting kind of dangerous in the 80s. AIDS was making it rise in the black community.
Right.
It was starting to hit the heterosexuals and all. So it was like that was like a major concern because I was like, I really love women. I found something attractive from all. I mean, all of them didn't have to look like supermodels. I did like them tall. I admit that, but they didn't all have to look at supermodels. I mean, you fix them up, they look good. But man, all right, dude, we're gonna take a quick commercial, man, and we come back, man. We're gonna wrap it up with your final thoughts, man. Again, we appreciate you coming on here, man, sharing your writing, sharing your life, everything with our listeners, and I'm sure everybody, have concerns, and I think we probably raised some, but
trust me, different opinions about the book. Trust me, different opinions.
Oh yeah, and I know you probably can sit on a panel, man. That thing probably can go 24 hours, man.
I was doing a radio, I was doing a television show yesterday, and so we talked about the 5th chapter of my book. Should a woman pursue a man? And it was very intriguing.
Ooh, I bet it is. And look, I was going to save that one, but I see we're running out of time. But tell you what, man. When we come back from this commercial, man, I want you to hit off on that one. You can close the show out with that one, okay?
Oh man, okay, all right.
Yeah, just tell us what came out of that program. All right, y'all. Okay. We're gonna listen to a message from Bill Powers. We talking to Gerald Manuel, and he is the author. Hold tight, everybody.
Think you know how drugs get in those little brown bottles? Think again. Set in the green hills of western New Jersey, inside the gilded halls of power of a U.S. pharmaceutical company where decisions are worth billions of dollars and human lives worth less. Nicholas Harding, a young executive at Marshall Pharmaceutical, finds his career, family, and life in jeopardy. The Farmhouse, a suspense thriller novel by Bill Powers, published by Donna Inc. Publications, available at Amazon.com or DonnaInc.org. Go to Bill's webpage at www.authorBillPowers.com.
All right, we back, y'all. How to identify your spiritual soulmate. Is she the right one? That's right. People over there. Is she the right one, y'all? Look at her now. She's sleeping now. All right, everybody. We talking to Gerald Manuel. You're already married. You're already in it now, so you got to stay in it. All right, man. So let's tackle that question, man. So you said chapter 5. Is it wrong for a woman to pursue a man? You know, she see him at the job, in school, on the street. What came out of that conversation, you know, that you can remember the most?
So yesterday, a lot of questions came out of that, but I can be real brief with it. Shall a woman pursue a man is the question out of the 5th chapter of my book. I would say when it comes down to a woman pursuing a man, I say a woman should not directly pursue a man, but a woman should indirectly pursue a man. Because, like I say, this from a spiritual perspective, and a lot of people use Proverbs, the 18th chapter, verse 22, which says, he who findeth a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So a lot of church ladies, right, they always use that to their defense. Girl, I'm not going to pursue no man. The Bible says that he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. But it's only one word in there that they use to their defense, and that word is the word findeth. So they take it literally as if a man needs to find them. So if a man is not looking for them, that means that the man is not going to find them because, you know, they're at home, they're in the grocery store, and they're doing all other sorts of things waiting for the man to find them, which in all aspects, the woman should be indirectly trying to find her man as well. But the word findeth in the Hebrew means the word matzi, which means to come forth, to appear, to cause to exist, to cause to meet, to be delivered. So what I'm trying to say is that Adam never went looking for Eve. God brought Eve to Adam. So we need to understand something. So I wouldn't say that a woman should directly pursue a man. I say a woman should indirectly pursue a man, which means that being in the right place at the right time. I mean, if God put a man on your heart and you are convinced with everything within you that this is the person that God is going to spiritually connect you to, I believe that you should do your due diligently and try to get the man attention, because man is predators. Men by nature like to pursue women. So after you have gotten the man attention indirectly, you know what I'm saying, not going to the man and say, hey, you're going to be my husband. God say, no, you don't do it that way, which means that if that is the person that God say you're going to be with, and you know it, because sometimes that a woman would know it before the man. So what you do is that you creatively get in the man's presence, dress up, look real nice, look classy, not like no hoochie mama, and get his attention. And once you have captivated his attention, then you turn him into the pursuer and lay back and watch him pursue you. And that's what Ruth did to Boaz. Naomi and Ruth pursued Boaz. And after Naomi and Ruth got Boaz's attention, then Boaz came after Ruth. So yes, a woman should indirectly pursue a man.
That's right. So she got to do like the peacock. You spread your feathers.
Right, and
right. Strut.
But you turn him into the pursuer because he will pursue you. So that's how a woman should do it. Get his attention. Find out what he like. A basketball game. Find out. Get into his ministry, because Ruth was a part of Boaz's ministry in the field. And Boaz came out in the field and seen Ruth gleaming and said, "Who is that?" But all the while, Naomi and Ruth, right, they had their eye on Boaz. So they did pursue Boaz. But Boaz didn't know it. So that's how a woman should pursue a man. There's a lot of more stuff in the book. So, I'm just paraphrasing, just hitting a little nuggets of it.
That was good, though, man. So people, check the book out. That was chapter 5. Is it wrong for a woman to pursue a man? That's a deep conversation for a good topic for one show. alone.
Yeah.
You know? We might have to do that one, man.
Yeah, they loved it. They loved it yesterday. I want to see your copy of it. The man gonna give me a copy, and I want to see your copy of it. You can see it. The show went extremely well.
Yeah, we got to see that one, man. As a matter of fact, I got two people in mind. They love to gang up on you on that one. So we're gonna make that happen. All right, man. We're gonna get one more commercial in, man, and so what we're gonna do, man, we're gonna get your final words, your final thoughts on tonight's show. All right.
Okay.
Here we go.
Appreciate it.
I forgot about Alita. I forgot about this person. What happens when a man meets a woman who's everything he wished his girlfriend was? Is his girlfriend's unconditional love and ride or die loyalty worth dealing with in her baggage? Find out the consequences of a man's need of self-completion and learn a lesson that everything comes with a price. The Lesson by Miss Cynthia Blue on Amazon.com.
Positive Power 21.org Internet Radio.
You are listening to Positive Power 21.org with Jerry Royce.
All right, thank you, family. You hear that, Miss Curl? You hear that commercial I did? You're not the only one that do commercials on Miss Curl. Miss Curl did a good job on your commercial, man. I like that.
Yeah, she did an excellent. I heard that. Yeah, I was impressed.
Yeah, she got a career, voiceover. All right, all right now, man. Awesome show, man. Really enjoyed having you, man. We definitely gotta have you back next month. I'm gonna have 2 guests on the show with us, and we make sure we book that for you.
You know what we could do? Let's pick a chapter, and let's just stay with that chapter. Let's dissect it. Read the book and pick a chapter and dissect that chapter.
That's what we're going to do, man. We're going to pick the chapter, man. I'm going to have them pick the chapter.
Okay, that's right.
Then we go after them.
Okay.
All right.
That's right.
All right, man. You ready for your final thoughts, man?
Yeah.
All right. We ready.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Once again, I'd like to thank you, Brother Jerry Royce, once again, and give me the opportunity to come back on your wonderful show. I give Jesus Christ all the glory, all the honor, and all the praises. And I like to say that each and every listener, please get the book. If you are in a relationship, if you are single, and you really are not quite sure that this person is the one you're supposed to be with, please get the book. The book has 16 fascinating chapters, such as the first marriage hookup, why it's important to have the right mate, why it's taken so long, how do I know is the person it's the one for me, should a woman pursue a man, don't touch or treat you are married, having a sexual relationship with yourself, and much, much, much more. Get the book. The book can be, you get the book on Amazon.com, Barnes and Nobles, or Tate Publisher Company. Please get the book. It will bless you.
Amen. You know, that chapter 7 would be a serious discussion too, man.
Well, people won't read that book. Look, they wouldn't read that chapter. They would skip over that chapter. Everybody will skip over that chapter.
Man. But you know, people try that though, man. I can almost guarantee you, man, that anybody you talk to probably said at one time in one relationship they actually tried chapter 7. You know, trying to do the biblical way. You know.
But you know what? Once you cross that line, you forfeit some blessings that God has for you. People need to understand that sex is a treat. It is a treat. So once you cross that line, it's a benefit, it's a blessing that God had for you. You are no longer eligible to receive.
Wow. Yeah, the single people are not going to like that one.
Well, someone, trust me.
That's a tough one right there, chapter 7. Ooh.
Yeah,
all right.
It's a tough.
Man, I'm going to tell you, Jerry, I tell everybody all the time, Pastor, they want to hear the good stuff, man. They got to listen to Jerry Royce Live worldwide on Positive Power 21.org. And don't forget, y'all got to get that book. It's sitting right there on my main page. It's all yours. Check it out. I'm Jerry Royce Live. I'm worldwide. Thank you for tuning in to Jerry Royce Live on PositivePower21.org and Spreaker.com/PositivePower21. This is a Royce Enterprises production. And don't forget about replay on Facebook.com/Jerry Royce Live. All right, everybody. Y'all stay awesome all week long. Tomorrow's Thursday.